Have you ever wondered why some people seem to leave a lasting impression? The kind that lingers in someone's mind long after the conversation is over? Why is it that certain individuals capture attention effortlessly, while others struggle to spark even a flicker of interest? Attraction, real attraction, is never just about looks, status, or temporary charm. It runs deeper, touching something invisible but powerful inside the human heart. And when you understand what actually pulls someone in on an emotional level, you unlock the ability to create connections that feel magnetic, unforgettable, and unshakable. The truth is, people are wired to seek more than just surface-level interactions. What makes someone stay hooked isn't simply chemistry, it's the way you make them feel about themselves when they are with you. Think about it. Every human being carries secret doubts, hidden insecurities, and a quiet craving for acceptance. When you can meet someone in that space, when you can make them feel truly seen and appreciated for who they are beneath the mask they show the world, you become more than interesting. You become unforgettable. Imagine the power of being the person who doesn't just grab attention but holds it with ease. Someone whose presence lingers, whose words echo in memory, and whose energy inspires admiration. That is the essence of deep attraction. It is not built on games or manipulation. It is built on authenticity, emotional courage, and the willingness to connect at a level that most people are too afraid to touch. And the moment you step into this truth, you change the way others experience you forever. Think about how many people chase love or connection by trying to be someone they're not. They hide their true selves, exaggerate qualities they believe others want, or dim their own light just to fit in. But the problem with that approach is simple. What is fake cannot last. Pretending might win attention in the short term, but it cannot create lasting desire. What truly hooks someone is the realization that you are real, that you are unafraid to stand in your own skin, that you don't need to force their interest because your authenticity is already powerful enough to draw them in. And here's the reward for you. When you live this way, you no longer chase approval. You no longer settle for crumbs of attention or worry whether you're good enough. Instead, you shift into a higher space of self-respect. You carry an energy that says, I know my worth, and I won't shrink for anyone. That energy is magnetic. It makes others want to lean in, to stay close, to keep discovering more of who you are. Stay with me until the end of this journey, because what you'll discover is more than tips or tricks. You're going to understand the psychology of desire, the hidden forces that make someone drawn to you, not just for a moment, but in a way that keeps them invested. You'll learn how to replace fear with confidence, doubt with clarity, and hesitation with power. Most importantly, you'll see how to embody a version of yourself that feels alive, attractive, and completely unforgettable. This is not about changing who you are. It is about unlocking what has always been inside you, waiting to be expressed, and once you step into it, you will no longer wonder what makes someone hooked on you. You will become the answer. When someone feels a powerful pull towards you, it's rarely because of what you said or what you wore. It's because of the energy you gave them, the emotions you awakened inside them. Humans are emotional beings before they are logical ones. Long before the brain calculates facts, the heart has already decided how it feels. That is why the most magnetic quality you can develop is not perfection, but presence. The ability to be fully there, to create a space where another person feels understood, valued, and safe is what makes them crave more of you. Presence is rare in today's world. Most people are distracted, buried in thoughts, phones, or worries about tomorrow. They may be standing in front of someone, but their mind is 1,000 miles away. When you break that pattern and give your attention fully, without judgment, without rushing, you become a breath of fresh air in a world starved for real connection. This simple act of focus tells the other person, you matter right now. And that message is irresistible. It bypasses defenses, lowers walls, and creates a bond that logic cannot explain. Think of how you feel when someone truly listens to you, not just waiting for their turn to speak, but leaning into your words, catching the emotion behind them, showing you that your thoughts carry weight. It makes you feel alive, doesn't? It gives you permission to open up, to reveal more, to trust. That is what you give to others when you cultivate true presence. And when you do, you stop being just another face in the crowd. You become unforgettable. But presence is more than silence and listening. It is the energy you radiate, the way your eyes, your tone, and your body language say, I am here with you fully. People don't remember every word you say, but they always remember how you made them feel. And the feeling of being seen, heard, and valued has the power to hook someone far deeper than anything surface level ever could. It taps into a primal human need, the need to belong, the need to matter, the need to be cherished. This is where true attraction begins. Not with tricks, not with manipulation, but with courage. The courage to slow down. The courage to give your heart instead of just your words. The courage to look into someone's soul rather than scanning the surface. When you live this way, you ignite something inside the other person that feels rare, almost sacred. They find themselves drawn back to you, not because they have to, but because they can't help it. And here lies your transformation. When you master presence, you begin to notice something powerful. People are drawn to your calm, your focus, your light. You become someone they can lean on, someone they trust, someone they desire to stay close to. And that is the kind of attraction that lasts. Not the fleeting spark that burns out quickly, but the steady flame that grows stronger every time you show up fully. This is how you shift from being someone who hopes for attention to being someone who commands it without force. You stop chasing, you stop proving, you stop doubting. Instead, you radiate the kind of energy that makes others want to chase you, prove themselves to you, and stay connected with you. Because deep inside, every human heart longs for that kind of presence. And when you give it, you become unforgettable in a way that nothing else can match. There's a reason why some people light up a room without even trying. It isn't just their appearance or the sound of their voice. It is the confidence that radiates from within, the kind of quiet certainty that tells the world they know who they are and they do not need permission to exist fully. Confidence is not arrogance, it is not loud, and it does not demand attention. Real confidence is calm, steady, and magnetic. It whispers instead of shouts, yet its power is undeniable. When you carry it, people cannot help but be drawn closer. Confidence begins in the way you see yourself. If you constantly question your worth, if you shrink to make others comfortable, if you let fear silence your voice, then your energy tells others the same story. But when you decide that you are enough, exactly as you are, when you hold yourself with dignity, when you believe that your presence has value, that belief reshapes the way others experience you. Confidence is contagious. The moment you own it, you give others permission to feel it too. Every person you meet is unconsciously scanning for cues. They are asking themselves, is this someone I can trust? Is this someone worth investing in? Do they truly believe in themselves? The answers are found not in what you say, but in the energy you project. Do you hold eye contact without fear? Do you speak with clarity, not rushing, not apologizing for taking up space? Do you move through the world as though you belong in every room you enter? These small details create the aura of confidence, and they are what people remember long after your words fade. True confidence is not built on perfection. In fact, it often shines brightest through your imperfections. When you accept your flaws and still stand tall, when you make mistakes and own them without shame, you send a powerful message: I am human and I am enough. That honesty is magnetic. People crave realness because so much of the world feels fake and polished. When you dare to show up as yourself, unapologetically, you break through the noise and create a connection that feels genuine. Confidence also has a rhythm. It is the calm in your breathing, the patience in your silence, the steadiness in your tone. It is the ability to pause without rushing, to speak without fear of judgment, to move without hesitation. That rhythm draws people in because it signals certainty. When you are certain of yourself, others feel certain about you. And that certainty translates into attraction, respect, and desire. The transformation happens when you realize you no longer need to prove anything. You are not trying to convince anyone to like you, not bending yourself to fit an image, not chasing validation. You simply stand in your truth, and that truth becomes the magnet. Others find themselves captivated, not because you demand it, but because your confidence creates a gravitational pull that is impossible to resist. Confidence does not just change how others see you, it changes how you see the world. Challenges feel smaller, rejection feels lighter, and opportunities feel within reach. You stop waiting for someone to choose you because you have already chosen yourself. And when you walk with that energy, people feel it. They feel the strength, the calm, the certainty. They feel hooked, not by force, but by the natural power of someone who knows their worth and refuses to shrink from it. What pulls someone deeper into your world is not only your presence or your confidence, but the way you carry your boundaries. Boundaries are not walls meant to keep people away. They are signals of self-respect that show others how you expect to be treated. Without them, attraction quickly fades, because respect cannot survive where self-respect does not exist. When you make it clear that you value your own time, energy, and emotions, you send a message that you are not desperate, not easily swayed, and not available for those who do not honor you. That strength is magnetic, because it speaks of independence and inner power. Boundaries reveal that you are whole on your own. They show that while you may enjoy connection, you do not depend on someone else to define your worth. This creates a kind of tension, a healthy pull that keeps others engaged. People instinctively respect what they cannot easily control. And when they see that your heart, your energy, and your attention are treasures you guard with intention, they rise to meet that standard. Boundaries separate those who are serious about you from those who are simply curious. They draw in the right kind of attention while filtering out the wrong. Think about what happens when someone never says no, when they bend to every demand, when they sacrifice their values just to keep another person close. At first, it might seem attractive, but soon it becomes suffocating. Why? Because what is too easily given loses value. When you don't protect yourself, you unintentionally teach others not to protect you either. On the other hand, when you honor your boundaries, you create an atmosphere of respect, and respect is the foundation of lasting desire. Boundaries are not about pushing people away, they are about drawing lines that keep your heart aligned with your truth. When you communicate them with calmness and clarity, you are showing emotional maturity. And maturity is deeply attractive because it creates stability. It tells someone that being with you is not just about fleeting moments of pleasure, but about building something real, something meaningful, something worth protecting. It takes courage to hold your boundaries because it means risking rejection. It means being willing to walk away from anyone who cannot meet your standards. But that very courage is what makes you unforgettable. When you show that you are not afraid to lose someone by staying true to yourself, you demonstrate the kind of strength that others cannot ignore. It sets you apart in a world where too many people settle for less than they deserve. This is where the deeper shift happens. You stop fearing loss because you realize that what you protect will grow stronger. You stop clinging to people who drain you because you know your worth is not defined by their presence. You stop settling for attention because you demand respect. And in doing so, you become rare. You become someone others want to invest in fully, not just someone they pass time with. Boundaries do not push people away. They pull the right ones closer. They inspire trust, they spark admiration, and they create the conditions where attraction can deepen into something unshakable. When you live with clear boundaries, you don't have to chase respect, love, or attention. They find you naturally because your energy makes it clear you are not afraid to stand alone. And that strength is exactly what makes others want to stand with you. What makes your presence unforgettable is not just how strongly you protect your boundaries, but how deeply you allow yourself to bring warmth and kindness into every interaction. Boundaries create respect, but it is compassion that builds connection. When someone feels both your strength and your softness, they experience a rare balance that pulls them closer. People may admire authority, but what they crave is to feel cared for. When you can stand tall in your own worth while still showing empathy, you embody the kind of energy that is almost impossible to walk away from. Kindness is often misunderstood as weakness, but in truth, it is one of the greatest demonstrations of power. It takes courage to be gentle in a world that often rewards hardness. It takes strength to respond with patience when it would be easier to react with anger. And it takes emotional maturity to offer genuine care without expecting anything in return. This kind of kindness doesn't make you someone who is used or overlooked. It makes you someone who inspires loyalty, someone others want to protect, someone they feel safe opening their soul to. Every person is carrying silent battles. Behind the smiles, the confidence, and the masks, there are wounds, doubts, and fears. When you treat others with compassion, you touch the places they often hide. You give them relief, even if only for a moment, from the weight they carry. And that experience creates an invisible bond, a sense of comfort that makes people want to keep coming back to you. Because at the deepest level, human beings are not searching for perfection. They are searching for someone who makes them feel seen, understood, and safe. But compassion is not about losing yourself to please others. True compassion has boundaries. It says, I care for you, but I will not betray myself in the process. It is rooted in self-respect, which keeps your kindness pure instead of performative. This is what makes it powerful. When you extend care from a place of strength, it feels different. It feels genuine. It feels steady. It feels like love without condition and presence without agenda. That kind of energy is unforgettable because it is rare. The combination of strength and warmth is what draws someone into your world in a way they cannot explain. They respect you because of your boundaries, but they are hooked because of your kindness. Respect creates admiration. Kindness creates desire. Together, they form the foundation of connection that lasts because it is built on both trust and emotion. This balance also transforms you from the inside out. When you live with compassion, your relationships become lighter, your confidence becomes deeper, and your energy becomes magnetic. You are no longer drained by trying to prove yourself or chase validation. Instead, you radiate an inner calm that says, I am enough, and I choose to bring light wherever I go. That calmness draws people in because it is something their souls are hungry for. Compassion is not weakness. Compassion is irresistible power. It whispers into someone's heart, you are safe here, you are valued here, you are free to be yourself here. And once someone feels that with you, they will never forget it. They will carry that feeling long after the moment has passed, and they will always want to return to the place where they felt seen, cherished, and alive. The most captivating people are not the ones who never stumble, but the ones who carry a light of authenticity no matter where they go. Authenticity is magnetic because it cannot be faked. It is the courage to show up as you are, without hiding behind masks, without bending yourself into someone else's idea of acceptable. When you are authentic, you create trust instantly, because others sense that you have nothing to hide. They feel a rare relief in your presence, the comfort of knowing they don't have to perform around you either. That freedom is intoxicating. Authenticity is powerful because it cuts through the noise of a world obsessed with appearances. Most people are caught in the exhausting cycle of trying to impress, constantly editing themselves to win approval. But the truth is, what people crave isn't perfection, it's realness. They are not drawn to flawless masks, they are drawn to the raw humanity that reminds them they're not alone. When you dare to live authentically, you give others silent permission to do the same. And in that permission lies the seed of deep connection, the kind of bond that feels unshakable. Living authentically does not mean exposing every part of yourself to everyone you meet. It means aligning what you say, what you feel, and what you do. It means your words carry weight because they are rooted in truth. It means your actions reflect your values, not just temporary convenience. And it means you no longer waste energy trying to be someone else. That alignment makes your presence magnetic because people can sense when you are real. They may not always articulate it, but they feel it, and they are drawn to it again and again. Authenticity also brings a calm strength. When you stop chasing approval, you stop fearing rejection. When you are grounded in your truth, you realize that not everyone will accept you, and that's not a problem. The right people will be pulled toward your honesty, while the wrong ones will fall away. This creates space in your life for connections that are deep, nourishing, and lasting. And in relationships, nothing hooks someone more than the realization that they are experiencing something real with you, something rare, something that cannot be replaced. There is beauty in imperfection. There is power in vulnerability. When you allow someone to see you as you are, with your strengths and your flaws, you create intimacy. Vulnerability is not weakness, it is the ultimate act of courage. It says, I trust myself enough to let you see the real me. That trust is contagious. It inspires openness in others, drawing them into a deeper level of connection than surface attraction could ever create. The moment you step fully into authenticity, you stop competing for attention. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop chasing shadows. Instead, you radiate a quiet power that draws people in without effort. They are not hooked because you performed better, dressed better, or played the right game. They are hooked because they felt something rare in you, something real. Authenticity transforms not only the way others see you, but the way you see yourself. You begin to move through life with more ease, more freedom, more confidence. You realize that your uniqueness is your greatest gift. And when you embrace it, you become unforgettable. Because in a world full of imitation, nothing stands out more than the courage to be unapologetically yourself. What deepens attraction beyond the surface is the fire of passion that burns inside you. People are drawn to those who live with intensity, who are fueled by something bigger than themselves, who refuse to drift through life on autopilot. Passion is magnetic because it carries energy, and energy is contagious. When you speak about what excites you, when you move with purpose, when your eyes light up with conviction, you awaken something inside others. They feel your spark, and it stirs a spark in them. That aliveness is irresistible. Passion is not limited to grand achievements or dramatic pursuits. It is found in the way you approach your daily life. It is in the enthusiasm you bring to conversations, the dedication you show to your goals, the joy you find in small moments. People are drawn to those who radiate vitality because it makes them feel more alive just by being near. A passionate soul becomes a mirror that reminds others of their own desires, their own dreams, their own hunger for life. And once someone feels that reflection through you, they are hooked not just by who you are, but by how they feel about themselves when they are with you. Living with passion also creates direction. It tells the world that you know where you are going, that your energy is not wasted on distractions or endless hesitation. This kind of clarity is rare, and it commands attention. People are naturally attracted to leaders, not necessarily in position, but in spirit. Those who walk their path with determination, who choose growth over comfort, who embody the courage to chase something meaningful. Standing in that energy sets you apart instantly. But passion must come from within. It cannot be faked, borrowed, or forced. Pretending to care about something you don't burns out quickly. Real passion is born when you give yourself permission to pursue what matters to you, regardless of what others expect. It requires courage to follow that call, to invest in your growth, to chase a vision that lights you up even when others don't understand it. And yet, that very courage makes you magnetic. It shows that you are alive in a way many people have forgotten how to be. There's something profoundly attractive about someone who refuses to live a half-lived life. Their energy pulls you in. Their presence feels electric. They remind you that there is more to existence than survival, that joy, creativity, and drive are not luxuries but essentials. That reminder is powerful because it awakens a dormant truth inside everyone who crosses paths with them. This is the transformation passion creates. It elevates your presence from interesting to unforgettable. It changes the way people remember you because they don't just recall your words or your looks, they remember how your energy made them feel alive. And that feeling lingers long after you've left the room. Passion makes you magnetic, not because it forces anyone to stay, but because it invites them into a world that feels bigger, brighter, and more meaningful. And once someone experiences that through you, they don't just want to be around you. They want to hold on because being near your fire awakens their own. That is the power of living with passion. It doesn't just transform your life, it transforms the lives of everyone you touch. What makes passion even more magnetic is the balance of mystery that surrounds it. Mystery is not about playing games or hiding your truth. It is about the depth within you that cannot be fully uncovered in a single glance or a single conversation. It is the quiet confidence of knowing you hold layers, dreams, and dimensions that unfold over time. People are drawn to mystery because it sparks curiosity. It creates an emotional pull, a desire to lean in closer, to discover more of the story you carry within. Mystery is born from self-possession, from not laying every piece of yourself on the table at once. When you know your value, you don't feel the need to over-explain, to overgive, or to prove yourself. You understand that your worth is not in how quickly you reveal everything, but in the depth of what you reveal over time. This natural restraint builds anticipation, and anticipation is one of the most powerful forces of attraction. When someone feels there is always more to learn about you, they cannot help but return, again and again, to uncover the layers that make you who you are. The power of mystery lies in contrast. You are open enough to be real, yet reserved enough to keep a sense of discovery alive. This contrast creates tension, and tension fuels desire. Too much exposure too soon can weaken the bond, but the right balance of openness and reserve keeps the connection vibrant. It mirrors the rhythm of breathing, space and closeness, giving and holding back, allowing attraction to grow naturally without burning out. Mystery also speaks to self-control. When you are not in a rush to spill everything, when you move at your own pace, when you carry yourself with an air of calm detachment, you show emotional strength. That strength is captivating because it signals that your happiness and identity are not dependent on someone else's validation. You are whole within yourself, and that wholeness creates gravity. Others are pulled into your orbit, not because you chase them, but because you embody the kind of energy that is rare to find. This balance draws people into a deeper investment. They want to know what excites you, what drives you, what dreams you have yet to share. They want to peel back the layers slowly, savoring the process of discovery. And the more they discover, the more they realize there is always more beneath the surface. That depth is what hooks them, not just attraction, but fascination. Living with mystery does not mean being distant or cold. It means living with richness, with depth, with layers that reveal themselves in the right time. It means being comfortable with silence, comfortable with space, comfortable with allowing the unknown to work in your favor. Mystery turns every interaction into an experience because people sense that being close to you is not a puzzle to be solved, but a journey to be lived. And here lies the transformation. When you embody mystery, you no longer fear being overlooked. You no longer feel the need to rush or force. Trust that the right people will be drawn to your depth, to the unseen as much as the seen. And when they are, they will stay, because what is mysterious is never forgotten. It lingers in the mind, it echoes in the heart, and it pulls people back with an irresistible force that logic can never explain. What amplifies the pull of mystery is the presence of playfulness. Playfulness is not about immaturity or carelessness. It is the art of keeping energy light, joyful, and alive. It is the spark that turns ordinary moments into unforgettable experiences. People are drawn to playfulness because it awakens their inner child, the part of them that longs to laugh freely, to feel joy without restraint, to experience life without the weight of constant seriousness. When you embody playfulness, you become a source of light in a world that often feels heavy. That light is irresistible. Playfulness does not mean you lack depth or direction. In fact, it is most powerful when it comes from someone who already carries strength, passion, and self-respect. Because then, your lightness is not a mask. It is a choice. It shows emotional intelligence, the ability to shift the mood, to turn tension into laughter, to create an atmosphere where people feel safe to let go. That ability is rare, and it is magnetic, because it brings relief to the hearts of those who have forgotten what it feels like to be carefree. When you bring playfulness into your connections, you create contrast. You show that while you are capable of seriousness, you are also capable of joy. That contrast is compelling because it makes the experience of being around you dynamic. People never feel stuck in heaviness with you, nor do they feel you lack substance. Instead, they sense balance, and balance is deeply attractive. It makes others want to stay close because they know that time with you is never dull, it is alive. Playfulness also signals confidence. It shows that you are comfortable enough in yourself to take risks, to tease lightly, to laugh without fear of judgment. It reveals that you don't need to control every moment because you trust yourself enough to flow with spontaneity. That freedom draws people in because it gives them permission to drop their guard. When you laugh with someone, barriers dissolve. Laughter is one of the fastest ways to build connection because it bypasses the mind and speaks directly to the heart. This energy hooks people because it makes them associate you with joy. And joy is addictive. When someone consistently feels lighter, happier, more alive around you, their attachment deepens without them even realizing it. They crave your presence not because of what you give them materially, but because of the way you make them feel emotionally. That emotional memory becomes a bond stronger than any surface-level attraction. Playfulness is not reckless. It is intentional. It knows when to shift the energy, when to bring levity, when to remind someone that life is not only about stress and struggle. This awareness creates balance, and balance makes people want to return to you. Because in your presence, they are reminded of something essential, that joy is still possible, that laughter is still healing, that life can still feel exciting. The transformation comes when you allow playfulness to be part of who you are, not as an escape, but as a strength. You begin to notice how easily people lean toward you, how naturally they relax, how deeply they invest in the moments you share, because joy is not forgettable. Joy is the feeling that lingers, the memory that calls them back, the reason they feel hooked without ever needing to explain why. And when you embody that, you become the kind of presence they never want to lose. What makes joy even more powerful is when it is paired with emotional depth. Playfulness creates lightness, but depth anchors it, turning fleeting moments into lasting bonds. Emotional depth is the ability to feel deeply, to connect beyond surface conversations, to hold space for vulnerability and truth. When someone senses that you not only bring joy, but also understand the weight of real emotions, they feel safe with you in a way that few others can offer. That safety is what keeps them coming back, because it is rare to find someone who can meet both their laughter and their silence. Emotional depth is magnetic because it shows that you are not afraid of feelings. In a world where many hide behind masks of indifference, depth says you are brave enough to care. It reveals a strength that does not run from discomfort, but embraces it with compassion. And when you can sit with someone in their struggles as easily as you celebrate their wins, you create a bond that cannot be shaken by distance or time. That kind of connection hooks people because it gives them something they cannot find everywhere, the freedom to be their whole selves. Depth also makes you unforgettable because it invites curiosity. When others sense that you feel life on a richer level, they want to understand you more. They wonder what inspires you, what drives you, what you have seen and learned that gives you such perspective. You become a puzzle they want to solve, not because you are hiding, but because your inner world carries weight. This intrigue pulls them closer again and again, because every conversation, every moment feels layered with meaning. But emotional depth is not about heaviness. It is not about being consumed by pain or drowning in intensity. True depth is balance. The ability to move gracefully between light and heavy, joy and sorrow, laughter and silence. It means you can create fun and also hold truth, that you can share your excitement but also your fears. That balance is rare, and it captivates people because it feels human, real, and complete. When you embrace emotional depth, you stop fearing your own vulnerability. You begin to see it as power, not weakness. You realize that when you open your heart honestly, you invite others to do the same. And that invitation is irresistible because it offers relief from the loneliness of hiding. Everyone longs to be understood. Everyone longs to be accepted as they are. When you give that gift through your depth, people feel hooked, not to a performance, but to the truth of who you are. The transformation that comes with emotional depth is profound. You no longer settle for shallow connections because you know they cannot sustain you. You no longer waste time on masks because you understand the beauty of realness. Instead, you move through life with the courage to feel, to express, to connect. That courage radiates, and others feel it. They feel seen by you. They feel safe with you. They feel alive in your presence. And that is why emotional depth is unforgettable. It is not just what makes someone attracted to you in the moment. It is what makes them stay, because with you, they find something the world rarely gives them, the freedom to be real, and the certainty that their heart is safe in your hands. What magnifies emotional depth even further is the strength of consistency. Consistency is not glamorous, yet it is one of the most powerful forces of attraction. It is the steady rhythm that builds trust, the quiet reliability that makes someone feel secure in your presence. Anyone can impress for a moment, but it takes strength and integrity to show up with the same energy, the same respect, and the same authenticity again and again. That reliability is what separates fleeting interest from lasting connection. Consistency is magnetic because it eliminates doubt. When someone knows they can count on your words, your actions, and your energy, they relax into the connection. Uncertainty fades, and in its place grows trust. And trust is the soil where desire flourishes. No matter how charming or attractive someone may appear at first, without consistency, the bond will fade. Attraction that is not backed by stability burns out quickly. But when you are steady, when you are aligned, when you are true in both light and dark moments, you create an anchor that keeps people grounded in you. The human heart craves certainty in a world filled with chaos. Many people have experienced inconsistency, promises broken, attention given, and then taken away, love offered with conditions. These patterns leave scars. But when you embody consistency, you stand out as rare. You become the person who doesn't waver with mood swings, who doesn't disappear when things get hard, who doesn't say one thing and do another. That reliability is not just attractive, it is addictive, because it gives people the sense of safety they long for. Consistency is also an expression of self-respect. It means you honor your word, not only to others, but to yourself. It shows discipline, integrity, and inner strength. When you live with consistency, you reveal that your values are not temporary, that your standards do not bend under pressure, that your energy is not tossed around by every passing circumstance. This steadiness inspires trust, admiration, and loyalty. People are drawn to those who know who they are and live in alignment with it daily. But consistency does not mean being robotic or predictable. It means being true. It means your kindness today is not just a mask, but a reflection of who you are tomorrow. It means your confidence is not a performance, but a steady flame that burns even when no one is watching. It means the passion you share is not a fleeting burst, but a fire you tend to day after day. That kind of steadiness is rare, and it makes others feel safe enough to open fully, to invest deeply, to commit completely. This is the quiet force that hooks people in ways they cannot explain. They may be drawn first to your presence, your energy, your spark, but what makes them stay is the way you show up consistently. It is the comfort of knowing they do not have to wonder where they stand with you. It is the relief of trusting that what they feel today will not vanish tomorrow. And here is the transformation. When you embody consistency, you don't just attract people, you keep them. You create bonds that deepen over time instead of fading. You turn initial sparks into steady flames. You make someone feel safe enough to give more of themselves because they know your presence will not collapse under pressure. Consistency is not loud, but it is unforgettable. It is the invisible thread that ties hearts together and keeps them bound long after the first rush of attraction has passed. What amplifies the force of consistency is the presence of mystery. Mystery is not about hiding who you are. It is about keeping layers of yourself alive, never laying everything bare all at once, allowing curiosity to breathe and grow. It is the art of being open yet still intriguing, of being accessible while also carrying depth that unfolds slowly over time. Mystery awakens the natural human desire to explore, to discover, to lean closer, to want more. Mystery holds power because it triggers the mind's need for discovery. When someone feels they already know everything about you, interest fades. But when you hold certain parts of yourself with grace, when you allow your story to reveal itself gradually, the other person leans in. They wonder what else lies beneath your smile, your words, your presence. They want to know the thoughts you have not yet shared, the dreams you still hold quietly, the passions you have not revealed. Mystery creates momentum because it turns attraction into an unfolding journey rather than a finished story. The mistake many people make is thinking that, to be loved, they must give everything at once. They spill their entire soul in the first moments, fearing that if they don't, they will lose attention. But true connection thrives not in instant overexposure, but in gradual revelation. When you allow someone to discover you piece by piece, you build anticipation, and anticipation is one of the strongest drivers of desire. It keeps the fire burning long after the initial spark, because there is always more to uncover. Mystery is also tied to self-respect. It shows that you know your worth, that you do not feel the need to prove yourself by laying everything out instantly. You trust that who you are is enough, and that the right person will stay long enough to discover your depths. That quiet confidence makes you magnetic because it communicates value. People are drawn to what feels rare, and mystery makes you rare in a world where oversharing is common. But mystery is not about playing games or withholding affection. It is about balance. It means being genuine, but not pouring everything out without intention. It means sharing your truth, but also letting some parts of you unfold naturally, in rhythm with trust and time. It means allowing silence to carry weight instead of rushing to fill every gap. That balance keeps the connection alive because it keeps the other person engaged, curious, and invested in discovering more of you. This kind of mystery is powerful because it gives someone the gift of pursuit. And pursuit is not just about chasing, it is about valuing. When people pursue, they invest. They put energy into knowing you, into winning your time, into staying close. Mystery fuels that investment, and investment fuels attachment. The more someone invests in discovering you, the more they feel connected and the more they want to hold on. And this is where transformation takes place. You stop fearing that you must give everything all at once to be wanted. You stop over-explaining, over-proving, oversharing in desperation. Instead, you learn to trust the slow unveiling of who you are. You become both open and intriguing, both real and layered, both known and unknown. And that balance is what keeps someone hooked, not for a fleeting moment, but for the long journey ahead. Mystery becomes even more powerful when it is paired with the energy of playfulness. Playfulness is not about being childish. It is about keeping light alive in the connection. It is about laughter that breaks tension, about teasing that warms the heart, about joy that reminds both of you that love is not only about depth, but also about delight. Playfulness keeps attraction fresh because it balances intensity with ease. It gives the other person a space where they feel alive, where they can drop their guard, where they can experience happiness simply by being around you. Playfulness works because it taps into the psychology of positive association. People are drawn to those who make them feel good, who lift their spirit, who remind them of the brighter side of life. The human brain remembers emotions more strongly than words, and when someone feels joy in your presence, they will keep coming back for more. Even in moments of seriousness, the memory of laughter and lightness keeps the bond strong because it creates balance in the emotional landscape of the relationship. Too often, people confuse attraction with constant intensity, always serious, always deep, always dramatic, but without lightness, intensity burns out. Attraction becomes heavy and the connection begins to suffocate. Playfulness, however, gives breathing room. It creates contrast, and contrast is what keeps energy alive. A gentle smile after a vulnerable conversation, a playful remark after a serious moment, these shifts allow connection to feel dynamic, not stagnant. They keep desire fresh because they remind both of you that the relationship is not a burden, but a joy. Playfulness also reveals confidence. It shows that you are secure enough in yourself to be light, to laugh, to not take everything so seriously. That confidence is attractive because it communicates strength without aggression, ease without arrogance. It makes someone feel that being with you is not just safe, but also fun. And fun is addictive. It creates memories that stick, moments that are replayed in the mind long after they've passed because they were marked by genuine laughter and connection. This energy of play does not mean avoiding depth. It means weaving joy into depth so that love feels like a full experience, not just a serious responsibility. It means being able to laugh together even when life is not perfect, to find light even in the middle of challenge, to see each other not only as partners in responsibility, but also as companions in joy. That balance is rare, and it makes someone crave your presence because it makes their world brighter whenever you are near. And here is the deeper truth. Playfulness keeps desire alive for the long term. Physical attraction may spark quickly, but without emotional lightness, it fades. With playfulness, desire renews itself because every interaction feels refreshing, new, and alive. You become the person who doesn't just create intensity but also joy, who doesn't just bring depth but also light. And that combination is irresistible. When you embody this, you no longer fear losing interest or fading away in someone's heart. You carry both the mystery that keeps them curious and the playfulness that keeps them delighted. You become the person who makes life not only meaningful but also joyful, not only safe but also exciting. And that is the kind of energy that keeps someone hooked, not because they have to be, but because they want to be. Playfulness becomes even more magnetic when it is anchored in authenticity. Authenticity is the quality that allows someone to trust not just your words, but your energy. It is the rare courage to show up as you are, without masks, without pretending to be someone else, without performing for approval. In a world where so many people hide behind facades, authenticity stands out like a beacon. It makes someone feel safe because they know they are not dealing with an illusion, but with a real person. And that safety is the foundation of lasting attraction. When you are authentic, you stop trying to manage someone's perception of you. You stop shaping your personality to fit their expectations, and instead, you allow your true essence to shine. This is not about oversharing every thought or spilling every vulnerability at once. It is about aligning your actions with your inner truth so that who you are inside matches who you are outside. That alignment creates trust, and trust creates attraction that goes far deeper than surface-level charm. The psychology behind this is simple yet profound. People are wired to sense incongruence. When someone says one thing but feels another, when their words and energy don't match, it creates subtle tension. The brain notices the gap even if consciously it isn't obvious. This tension creates doubt, and doubt erodes connection. On the other hand, when someone's energy and actions align, it creates coherence. Coherence feels calm, safe, and magnetic. It draws people in because the mind relaxes in the presence of truth. Authenticity also builds respect. When you are unapologetically yourself, you communicate that you value your identity, your voice, and your presence. This doesn't mean being rigid or refusing to grow. It means refusing to shrink into a version of yourself that doesn't honor who you truly are. That kind of self-respect radiates outward, and people feel it. They admire it. They want to be near it because it inspires them to step into their own truth. Attraction that lasts is built on more than beauty, more than charm, more than games. It is built on depth, and depth can only exist when there is authenticity. Without it, attraction feels unstable, like a flame that flickers brightly for a moment but quickly dies. With it, attraction becomes steady, like a fire that burns deeply and endures. It creates a sense of being seen, of being known, of being connected to something real, and that is what keeps someone hooked. Not because they are chasing an illusion, but because they are experiencing truth. The reward of authenticity is freedom. When you no longer live to impress or perform, you liberate yourself from the exhausting cycle of seeking validation. You begin to attract the kind of person who loves not the mask you wear, but the truth of who you are. That love is not only more fulfilling, it is more secure because it is rooted in reality. It becomes sustainable because there is nothing to maintain, nothing to fake, nothing to hide. This is why authenticity is not just about honesty. It is about courage. It is about trusting that who you are is enough and allowing others to see it. And in that trust, you become magnetic because authenticity is rare, and rare is always valuable. It makes someone not only attracted to you, but deeply invested because they know they have found something genuine in a world full of disguises. Confidence is the natural companion of authenticity. And when the two come together, they create an energy that is almost impossible to resist. Confidence is not loudness. It is not arrogance. It is not about proving your worth to anyone. True confidence is quiet strength. It is the certainty that you are valuable, that you are enough, and that your presence matters. It is the calm belief that you bring something unique into the world, and because of that, you never need to beg for space. You simply occupy it. This kind of confidence is magnetic because it communicates safety and leadership. When you embody it, others sense that you are stable, that you are not easily shaken, that you have roots deep enough to withstand storms. Psychology shows us that humans are wired to seek stability, especially in relationships. Instinctively, people are drawn to those who carry themselves with assurance because it signals that they can be trusted. A confident person says with their energy, "You are safe with me. I know who I am. I don't need to prove it. And because of that, I can give more than I take." The most powerful part of true confidence is that it doesn't rely on external validation. It doesn't crumble when someone withholds praise, and it doesn't inflate with shallow compliments. It is grounded in self-awareness and self-respect. This is what makes it so captivating because many people spend their lives chasing approval. When they encounter someone who already possesses inner assurance, it feels refreshing. It feels inspiring. It awakens something inside them that whispers, "I want to rise to that level too." Confidence is also contagious. Just as anxiety spreads in a room, so does calm strength. When you walk with assurance, you invite others to relax. When you speak with clarity, you encourage others to listen. When you act with conviction, you show others how to believe in themselves too. This ripple effect makes your presence unforgettable because people will not only remember what you did or said, they will remember how you made them feel in your company. That memory becomes a hook, drawing them back to you again and again. But confidence is not about perfection. In fact, perfection is often the enemy of confidence because it is rooted in fear. True confidence is about embracing imperfection with grace. It is about knowing that flaws exist but refusing to let them define you. It is about choosing growth instead of shame, progress instead of paralysis. And when you embody this attitude, you model resilience. You show others that setbacks don't diminish your worth, they refine it. That kind of strength is not just attractive, it is unforgettable. To live with this kind of confidence requires inner alignment. It comes from keeping the promises you make to yourself, from showing up consistently for your values, from proving to your own heart that you can be trusted. Every time you honor your word, even in small ways, you build confidence that no rejection or disappointment can destroy. And that kind of self-sourced strength is the kind that captures attention, not for a moment, but for a lifetime. Confidence is not something you shout. It is something you radiate. It is an energy that speaks louder than words, an aura that cannot be faked. And when you carry it with humility and grace, it becomes irresistible because it tells the world, I am enough, and I choose to live from that truth. That truth is what makes someone not only drawn to you, but deeply anchored to you, because confidence, when genuine, is as rare as it is powerful.